Hey, what's going on, Pixar fans? Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com here, and I'm so excited to share what just arrived from my friends over at Super7. After about 7 months or so of waiting, the retro-inspired 3 3/4-inch LIGHTYEAR ReAction figures, which harken back, of course, to the classic Kenner action figures of the late 1970s and 80s, are finally here. And full disclosure, these were sent to me for free by Super7, so first off, a huge thank you to them once again for their generosity. I'm so glad, so thrilled that I get to unbox these figures with you today and share my detailed thoughts here. So this set of figures is a pretty long time coming. Pre-orders for them went up clear back last May 2022, and from what I understood at the time, they were supposed to start shipping in late summer, but there were some pretty significant delays, which ended up pushing them back a few months. But they're here now, which is great, so if you pre-ordered these figures, whether individually or through the early Enlistment bundle way back then, you should have gotten them by now as well. I also want to remind you guys that this is part 2 of my LIGHTYEAR ReAction figures coverage. So if you missed part 1, where I cover and explain what this whole early Enlistment bundle is, definitely check that out so there isn't any confusion. But in short though, last summer when these figures went up for pre-order, you could either buy them individually or purchase them as part of an early Enlistment bundle, which actually saved you $5. It was $75 instead of the $80 it would cost to buy the 4 figures separately. Not only were there some savings though, there were some other benefits to enlisting early as well. As part of the early Enlistment bundle, you would first receive an envelope with some exclusive items such as a certificate, a cardboard display stand, some stickers, an embroidered patch, and then when the figures arrive, they would come with an exclusive set of LIGHTYEAR ReAction figure stands you couldn't get anywhere else. So yeah, definitely some perks to enlisting early, and since Super7 originally enlisted me in the full early bundle set last summer, which again, I'm super grateful for, I got the whole shebang. Everything you see here. So again, for my full coverage of the initial shipment from last June, which includes all this extra goodness as part of the early Enlistment bundle, go ahead and hit that card above. All the extra goodies were fun to get last year, no doubt, but now it's finally time for the main event, the figures themselves. So let's do it, guys. All right, fantastic packaging as always. Again, I love the immersive experience Super7 brings here, making this feel like you've actually received an official shipment from Star Command via intergalactic courier. And nice, a box within a box. Super7 loves doing that, it seems. And as I gushed about in part 1, I love the art featured on the boxes and envelopes, the products themselves, the figure card backs. It's really sick minimal art all around, totally one of my favorite styles, and not to mention just the whole color scheme with the magenta, orange, and turquoise. It's all awesome, really unique stuff. It almost makes me wish that there was more pops of color in the actual final film. But anyway, here are the contents, and just to be clear, in case it wasn't clear already, this whole presentation, the box and the included figure stands, it's all unique to this early bundle. If you order the figures as a set of 4 from Super7 right now, they won't be coming in this particular box with the stands and everything. You'll just receive the figures themselves. I just wanted to make sure that was understood so there isn't any disappointment when they arrive if you've decided to place an order for them after watching this video. Okay, so we pull things off here, and there's even more stunning art. Just gorgeous, guys. Again, I love the minimal style with the retro futuristic flair. I mean, is it just me, or is this imagery cooler than anything we got in the actual film? And that is it, guys, for all the layers of packaging, so let's finally go ahead and bust the figures out. I'll share each one first in its packaging, and then I will be opening all 4 figures here for a more detailed all-around look. Okay, right on. So my first pull out of the box is the man himself, Buzz Lightyear, wearing his Space Ranger Alpha suit. He's also wearing his cool laser gauntlet, that's a nice touch, and he just looks absolutely outstanding all around, it seems. The paint applications seem very clean, almost flawless upon first glance, and you can just tell that this figure is made for the collector. These figures are $20 each after all, they're not cheap, so I wouldn't expect anything less than a great paint job, especially coming from Super7, who rarely disappoints in terms of quality. The recommended age range is 14 years and up. That seems a little extreme to me, but that does reinforce that these figures are made and marketed for the adult collector. But I mean, come on, kids younger than 14 can technically and certainly get these as well. I honestly don't see anything here that kids 9 or 10 years old and up couldn't handle. But yeah, anyway, this is Buzz Lightyear in his packaging. The card art is once again top notch. Everything looks phenomenal. So let's go ahead and pull another figure out and see who's next. and it's Mo Morrison in his Junior Zap Patrol armor, and he looks fantastic in person as well. Right off the bat, I'm noticing, as I'm sure you are, there's way more painted details on his armor, weapon, and helmet when comparing this to Mattel's 5-inch scale Mo. It doesn't have all the details, like the name Morrison on his chest isn't there still, but this is really good, guys, for a 3 3/4 inch figure, especially one that's purposely supposed to resemble a vintage action figure. The back here is the same on all 4 cards, showing off the 4 characters in this Lightyear ReAction figure collection, and that is Mo, so let's move ahead and see who we get next. And okay, I see you, Socks. Here we have Personal Companion Robot Socks, everyone. Now, once again, this is an incredibly well done Socks figure, but to me, the best part is that he comes with the little PII image computer that Socks uses to show Buzz the stable crystallic fuel formula that he calculated. We haven't gotten that accessory in any Lightyear toy line yet until now, so that's awesome. Obviously, it was just included to add some more value to the figure, since Socks on his own is very small and wouldn't have been enough to justify the $20 price tag. But honestly, even with the computer, the price is a lot for what you actually get here, but hey, they tried. We got the same card back here with all that amazing art as usual, and now let us move on to the 4th and final figure. Here we have Commander Alicia Hawthorne. I'm very happy to report that this is indeed yet another very nice looking figure. Her likeness, the overall sculpt, the paint apps, it's all super impressive once again, especially for the scale. The inclusion of a laser blade is a little odd, honestly, since Alicia never uses that in the film while wearing this outfit. I feel like the blade should have come with Buzz, since he doesn't come with any additional accessory, but it is what it is. Honestly, you could just display the Buzz figure holding this laser blade, and that could actually work really well, I think. I might try that out, and I'm sure it was just added in there to bring a little excitement, a little action to what some could consider an otherwise potentially boring figure. And lastly, in this box, we have... Whoops, that is definitely upside down. Here we have the Early Enlistment Bundle exclusive set of Lightyear ReAction figure stands. This is a set of 4 clear or translucent stands featuring 4 different colors: white, green, purple, and blue. On the back here, it says launch sequence initiated with some more eye-popping screen art of the XL-15, and yeah, it's a nice little set of stands that I'm so happy was included with this bundle, since I really appreciate figure stands in general. Now, if you didn't get this bundle but you did get the figures separately, don't worry, Super7 does offer a 10-pack of stands that you can get on their site for just $10. The 10-pack doesn't include all the colors as included here in this Lightyear pack. They're mostly clear, but it's still a solid alternative. Okay, now with all that, I just wanted to give you all one last look at all these amazing figures in their packaging before I tear into things here. It kind of pains me to open these ones up, honestly, but I want to give you guys full coverage here, so I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get them off the card backs as clean and with as little damage as possible. Right on, so here's Mo on his blister, and here he is in hand. Now, you could already see most of the figure in the packaging, so this will just be a quick 360-degree look. By the way, all these figures are basic 5 POA figures, so articulation at the arms, legs, and head. Again, paying homage to the vintage figures of yesteryear, so don't expect any kind of additional articulation or superposability. These are purposely not meant to be very posable figures. They're supposed to be nostalgic to collectors who grew up with these kinds of toys. Now, here's his helmet. Really nice paint all around, though not a lot of movie details, as expected, but I do appreciate how this helmet does have the one red glowing eye, as it should be. Mattel didn't include that detail on their 5-inch scale Junior Zap Patrol Mo. And here he is wearing the helmet. Now, I will say it's a bit strange that the helmet isn't quite long enough to cover Mo's whole head. As you can see, his chin sticks out quite a bit, but what are you gonna do? I'll let Super7 get away with this one because of the vintage charm of these figures. I feel like this kind of thing totally would have happened with a sculpt like this back in the 80s, so I'll give it a pass this time. Next up, here's a closer look at Mo's spear shooter, the harpoon weapon. Some amazing paint apps here. It looks totally hand-painted meticulously, so that's very impressive. They squeezed in a ton of detail on such a tiny accessory. And here we have Mo holding the weapon, which was honestly pretty difficult to get in his hand due to how hard the actual hand sculpt is, and there's not a lot of room to slide it in. And the hand itself doesn't bend much, but it is possible, as you can see. Lastly, let's throw him on one of the ReAction figure stands. Now, I don't think there's any one color that belongs to a specific figure. It's not like there's any character names on them. You can display them however you want, but blue makes sense to me for Mo since, well, his armor is blue. And here he is. Very, very nice. Okay, and next up, here is Socks on his blister. and in hand. Another really well done figure with a fun vintage-esque charm to it. I will say this though, the paint seems pretty flawless on all the figures in this assortment, even Socks here, except for his color. This is really the only major flaw I spotted across all 4 figures so far. It should be all silver, but as you can see, we got some blue paint smudges on mine, but it's not a huge deal, especially since everything else in this collection so far has had such good quality control. I'll just be crossing my fingers for you that yours looks a lot better than mine when it arrives. Other than that though, the sculpt and the rest of the paint looks so good, very accurate. Even the tiny toe beans have little individual paint apps, as you can see. Talk about attention to detail. I mean, you typically don't even ever see under the feet, especially when the figure is just standing there on display, so kudos for that little touch. As far as articulation, I know I mentioned that these are all 5 POA figures here, but Socks actually has 6 points of articulation because of his tail. So all 4 legs can move, his tail can rotate, and then his head, of course, which is on a ball joint, so there is some swivel movement to that as well. Here's the image computer accessory, which looks incredibly accurate for something this small. There's a little image of what appears to be the XL15 crystal on the screen there, and it reads 87%. And again, so many little individual paint apps that look to be hand-painted. All the buttons and such, so impressive. Here are some screenshots of the actual prop in the film so you can see just how close things are in terms of accuracy. But wait, there's even more. The screen can also flip down and up just like it is in the movie. So cool. A feature that wasn't really necessary or expected, but that's just Super7 going above and beyond once again. Okay, and here's the white ReAction figure base that I'm gonna pair with Socks. And there we go. Robot Companion Socks, everyone. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Next up is Commander Alicia Hawthorne. This is another exquisite figure, amazing details, wonderful likeness, like I already mentioned, but here I just wanted to give an all-around look. She is a 5 POA figure, as usual, so the head, arms, and legs, and really that is Alicia Hawthorne. And here's the laser blade accessory, very nicely done. Alicia can hold it quite well, and I'm gonna go ahead and pair Alicia here with the purple stand. Fantastic stuff. And last but not least, here is Buzz Lightyear in his Space Ranger Alpha suit. And here he is off the blister for a 360-degree look. Now, he has the same issue as Mattel's 5-inch Buzz figure that bothered me and other Lightyear collectors out there. It doesn't say Lightyear on his chest once again for some reason. But all in all, this is another solid retro-inspired figure. His laser gauntlet looks really cool and very detailed. And check this out, he actually has a gimmick. So I just started messing with this, and I will say it's very tedious and not very practical for play, and I didn't notice this until I just took him out of the packaging, he actually has a little telescoping feature that obviously was inspired by the telescoping lightsabers that Kenner's vintage Star Wars figures had. Those made a little bit more sense than this, but yeah, check it out. You can push on this tiny little piece here, and a small portion of his laser, that's gray and not red of course, comes out for it to be like Buzz is firing it. It's pretty difficult to do, honestly, and it does feel like it would break easily, but yeah, I was surprised to notice this little added feature. And I'm sure many of you out there are wondering, does his helmet come off? Why? Yes, it does. So even though Buzz doesn't come with any additional accessories per se, I guess you could count his helmet piece, which I was really excited to see that it can be removed. I still think he should have come with a laser blade and or his Space Ranger blaster or rifle, especially for 20 bucks, but what are you gonna do? In the end, everything does look so solid here, and of course he is a 5 POA figure, so his head can move as well as both his arms and legs, and that is really it for Buzz, guys. His helmet pops back on easily like so, and there we go. Another great figure. And now for Buzz, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the green stand. I feel like green or purple could work well for Buzz here, but I'm going with green. Totally your preference though. And that is it, guys. This was a bit longer than I anticipated, but I had to hit on all the nitty-gritty details as usual and share my thoughts, so I still hope you enjoyed, and for those who stuck around, thanks a ton for sticking with me. And at long last, it's about time, the moment I've been waiting for. After 7 months, I finally have the figures to display on that empty cardboard backdrop that's been sitting around since June of last year. And they look phenomenal. Basically everything that I anticipated. Obviously, Super7 released images of what this all would look like in the end, but they were all rendered images and not of the actual final product. So I'm happy to report that the final product does live up to what was promised. Way to go, Super7. You guys are awesome. Such a cool company doing some really fun and unique things in the nostalgic/adult collector space. Definitely go ahead and check out more of their work if you haven't already, and follow them for future reveals, especially if you're a Disney fan and they're always releasing really cool Disney items. Anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed, and like always, I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this collection. What do you think of these figures? Have you or will you be picking any of them up? I can't wait to read all your comments. Thanks so much again for the support, everyone, and if you did enjoy this review, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Pixar toy news and reviews from my personal collection. It really helps me out, and for even more Pixar content, you can find me all over social media. Take care, everyone. Hope you have an awesome and safe week, and I will see you all in my next video.